So this week's been the third week of reInvent that's been going on over the last month. I found it a very interesting week. This week has had two main focuses. One is the big keynote by Bernard Vogels, the CTO of Amazon.com, and it's always good to see that one and go into some of the thoughts behind how Amazon builds stuff, and also kind of the engineering best practice that comes with using Amazon. And then also lots of the focus has also been on IoT this week, the launch of a couple new updates like Greengrass 2. So it's been another context-rich week, and I also managed to catch up on some of the on-demand sessions as well from previous weeks. So all round a very good week, very formative week, and it's very much a engineering focused week. The highlight this week for me has been one of the announcements around that came out of the Bernard Vogels keynote, that fault injection simulator. Basically, we see increasingly that ML is becoming a very critical part of workloads for businesses. They're relying on them heavily, and these are business critical applications. And at Wisdom, we follow all the AWS best practice around how we architect stuff and solutions. However, AWS launched a specific service week that will help us do a lot more testing on disaster recovery and chaos engineering to make sure some of those highly critical workloads are very fault tolerant, are tested to a more forensic degree about them and how they perform when failure does occur. And we look to get into the depths of using that new service that comes out early in the year. So we will probably try to get onto the new preview of that as soon as possible. The most exciting announcements across the whole in the keynote for us at Inner Wisdom is all the SageMaker, the additional SageMaker features that were added, like Data Wrangler, Feature Store, SageMaker pipelines, clarity for bias detection, etc. So we're really looking forward to getting into the depths of that and using them to help our customers. And outside of that, we're very excited about the IoT edge device computer vision area. This is, as I mentioned before in some of my previous chats, this is the area that we have invested in and we have seen grow in the last year around PPE protection and detection and that kind of thing. So it's exciting to know that AWS are also looking at that area. So I think next year we're going to see a lot more connected devices that are using machine learning to do a lot more with them. Across the whole reInvent, we continue to see AWS continuing to evolve, reinvent, push the boundaries. And one of the core areas across the whole reInvent where we've seen continuous announcements is their investment in building out new ML instance types for different kind of workloads that we use and we operate. So we've seen Trainium come out, we've seen the new generation of the G instances come out. In the last 2 days, we've seen the new instance of the P instances come out. And we also seen some other Intel-based instances added. So overall, we're seeing a very diversification of instance types, and it'll be good to get into how to exploit them, make sure that we are getting for our customers the best cost point for them to train their models and then performing inference later. Because when you're working at scale, when it becomes more and more real time and you're using ML 24/7, these things start to really matter about getting the right price point for exactly the model you're wanting to productionize and embed in your business. This week's reInvent sessions and keynote is linked to engineering. So the biggest impact will be the impact on our engineering and also the wider impact on some of our customers that have gone on that cloud migration journey, have their own people as well that are skilled up in the cloud. So we've seen lots of new things like Cloud Shell, the new AWS ability to run CLI commands in the cloud. We've seen more things around, as I mentioned earlier, fault simulation. We've also seen Grafana, and Finicius Managed Services announced. So that's commoditizing a lot more the operational and the engineering space. So that's something that we'll be utilizing, and we see that some of our customers' engineering teams will be utilizing as well. So we look forward to working with them and exploring those new opportunities and new services. So re:Invent has been extended now for an extra week in January. This will be packed full of new content. So there's kind of two kind of hints I've been given around that content, and based on what's uploaded to the session catalog and speaking to people, it's going to be very data focused. So look at some of those data services like time series, quantum leisure, etc. So go and look to see those new sessions. In addition to that, there'll be more community focused. So I do know there's a few more AWS heroes speaking over that time period. So look out for them and their sessions. So that should be really good, which should further embellish the kind of the learning and the content that we've seen over the last 3 weeks. So it should be a great conclusion to re:Invent to see from those people and the rest of the AWS data centric services. So really looking forward to deep diving on some of those services in the new year.